Hello and welcome to this video. Here we will explain you what is the so-called apartheid and its effects for the population in South Africa.
But what is the apartheid? Originally, the word comes from the language Afrikaans, one out of 11 official languages out of the Republic of South Africa, and it stands for separation, but it lost its meaning long ago. Now it stands for systematic oppression of the non-white majority. It describes the political system of racial segregation based on skin color in South Africa in the second half of the 20th century. In the 20th century, the discriminating laws and actions went so far that the white minority suppressed the black and colored majority. Since the 30th November in 1973, it counts, as Article 2 says, as an inhuman and racist act that is created to give a racial group advantages in opposite to other racial groups.
Apartheid began during the colonial years. The Dutch and the British believed that people with a dark complexion belonged to a lower race. It was particularly important to them to preserve the supremacy of the white population as well as all the privileges they did not want to share.
Let's talk now about one of the most iconic celebrities of South Africa during apartheid, Nelson Mandela. He was born on 18th July 1980 in a village near Umtata in South Africa. He lost his father, Henry Mandela, the leader of the Tembu tribe, with 9 years. After that event, he visited a Methodistic school and came in first contact with the English culture. Some years later, he went to a missionary college in Fort Hare. 1940, he was forced to leave the college because of a student strike which he was the leader of. After he got rejected, he went to Johannesburg and became overseer in a gold mine. Later, he left his job and catched up his graduation and started studying law. 1944, he became active in politics and became a member in the ANC, also known as African National Congress. He was against the suppression of the black population in South Africa during apartheid. 1964, he got imprisoned for lifetime because of terror, communist activities and actions. He got released out of prison after 24 years on the 11th February 1990. He was elected as the first black president of South Africa after apartheid in the year 1994. He died on the 5th December 2013 in Hoofden, Johannesburg, but he remains in our memories for his actions against apartheid.
Let's talk about someone that experienced apartheid itself. I'm talking about Trevor Noah. He's a South African comedian, television host, and a political commentator. He's also the host of The Daily Show. He was born in Johannesburg and began his career in 2002 in South Africa. He also won many awards, for example the MTV Africa Music Award and the Primetime Emmy Award. Let's talk about his childhood. He was born on the 20th of February in 1984 in Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa. His father's name is Robert, he's a Swiss German. His mother's name is Patricia Noah, she is a Xhosa. His mother was classified as black at these times, his father is white, so Noah was colored. At that time, the interracial interactions were still illegal. He also wrote a book about his life, and in that he tells us that the interracial sexual relations and marriages were not decriminalized until a year after his birth. He was raised in the black township of Soweto. He also went on a private school which was very outstanding in these times. And when he was an adult, he used his job to inform about apartheid and criticize it. Now I will talk about the end of apartheid. It is now 31 years ago that President Frederick de Klerk announced the end of apartheid after so many years of discrimination. In his first speech in 1991 in Cape Town, he promised to remove the last remaining laws of apartheid. He already promised that on the 2nd February 1990. In the same speech he said he would lift the ban of the Communist Party and a host of other anti-apartheid organizations, and also that he would release all political prisoners and end apartheid. 9 days later, Nelson Mandela came out of prison. Then, on the 17th of June in 1991, the promise became reality by declaring all apartheid laws invalid. What followed were negotiations between de Klerk's National Party and Mandela's ANC on power transfers, power sharing, the political future, and the political system of the new South America. The first three votes were on the 27th of April 1994, and the majority of the people in Africa were for the ANC. This is how Nelson Mandela became the first black president of Africa.
What happened to the South African economy and because of the apartheid system? Most countries in the world sanctioned South Africa for the racist system, and still there are 25 billion US dollars of debt still left to work off for the government. A big problem in the country is that they don't really have a middle class, only upper and lower class. That's because black people weren't really likely to become a good job or something, and white people only become the good jobs, so there was nothing in between, no normal jobs. And because of the apartheid system, there are still high debts for South Africa, and the economy isn't likely to recover from that any soon.
So, in short, apartheid was bad. It separated people racially, and some had more rights than others, which fortunately is no longer the case, since South Africa is a democratic country. So, this was our video to apartheid. We hope you learned something and had a fun time watching it.
広がる闇の中交わし合った革命のちぎり誰にも邪魔させる